guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, I'm BYDALESMITH and I'm glad to have you here. So if you've just landed in Canada as an immigrant or an international student, or you're planning to arrive soon, this video is for you. I'm going to be walking you through 12 important things that you need to do immediately you arrive in Canada. This is after you've landed in Canada. These are things that no one really explains thoroughly, but they are things that once you do them, they will make your life so much easier. So whether you're fresh off the plane or you're just about to board, grab your notes and let's get right into this video. So guys, first things first, print out all your documents, every document that you own. So if you are on work permits, print out your work permits, print out your study permits. If you have a PR card, print out the confirmation of your PR card. Every document that is important to you as a person, print everything out and make sure you have them. Also, one other thing that I would advise you do is to make photocopies of these documents, or you can also scan them in your email and send it to yourself or even your Google Drive, because it would really help you as you would need it at every point of any type of registration, be it getting a bank account, getting your SIN. Like, you would definitely need these documents as you go. Next up is get your SIN or your social insurance number. You cannot work without this. You cannot file your taxes without this. You cannot open a bank account without this. So it's very important. How do you get this? Walk into any Service Canada building and just say you want to get your SIN, and you need to go there with your passport and your work permit or your study permit or any permit that you have here. And it takes just 15 to 20 minutes. You can also do this online, but I strongly advise that you go into a branch because it's faster. So yeah. So the next thing you have to do after getting your SIN is to get a SIM card and a phone plan. So this is very important because you will need it for your bank accounts, if you're applying to jobs, if you're a student here and you want to join like WhatsApp groups for your study or whatever the case is, you need this number. And you also need to browse the internet, right? You need to get on the Google Maps and every other thing involved, because you cannot use your international line or whatnot. So you need to get a local number that would help you to navigate the environment and go around easily and quickly. And when asked if you have like contact details, you can easily give this number to the banks or like the job or whatever it is that you're applying for. Another thing that you want to get done quickly once you arrive in Canada is to get a bank account and a credit card. Opening a bank account is pretty straightforward, but I would definitely advise you go to newcomer friendly banks such as Scotiabank, CIBC, TD Bank. Those banks, they are super friendly to immigrants and students. They have like packages that do not require like high interest rates. You have so many perks, etc. So while you're also at this, you should request for a credit card immediately, because it takes a while to get your credit card, right? If you're new here. So request for a credit card, because this would also help you build your credit score quickly. And some of us come here with cash. You need to save that somewhere because you don't want to lose your money, right? So that's another important thing that you need to do. Open a bank account ASAP. So far, I've touched on 4 important things that you need to do immediately you arrive here. So to the 5th one is to get the transit access. Guys, transportation here is super different. And it's pretty easy, to be honest. So trains, buses, any form of public transportation is your best friend because it is easier, it is cheaper. You don't want to be hopping from one Uber to another. I know you may have the money, but trust me, you want to save your coins for other things that's going to come up, you know? So just make sure you find out what transit access that you have in whatever province that you are in, because each province has different transit system. For Vancouver, we use the Compass card. So for you to get the Compass card, you can go to any drugstore, Shoppers, London Drugs, they have it there. You just again need your identification card to just show your age, and so they can know the kind of Compass card to give to you, to sell to you, because we have the ones for teenagers, we have Compass card for adults, and we also have Compass card for seniors. So that is like the purpose of asking for for the identification card when you want to purchase a compass card. And I think it's about $10 or $20. I don't think it's like a huge amount, and it's cheap because you just load the card, you tap, it lasts for about 2 hours before your next tap or whatever the case is. And for other provinces like Toronto, I've heard that they use Presto there, but make sure you find out what the transit system is like in that province and you get that ASAP. You're going to be saving some good money from that. All right, so this one is going to kind of like, tip you off a bit because I know there's a lot of controversial topics out there about it. It's your health insurance, guys. I get it, especially we Nigerians. I know we're good, we're healthy. Most of us feel like, nothing is going to happen. But to be honest, it is very important that you have your health insurance. Find out what that looks like for the province you're in because each province has different health insurance system. For Vancouver, we use the MSP here. And for Ontario, I think it's OHIP. So it's different for different provinces, but I would say that is very important because it takes about 2 to 3 months for this to kick in. So even if you apply immediately, it's not going to be finalized until about 2 to 3 months before you're able to even use the insurance, right? So everything here, once you apply for the health insurance, is mostly free, mostly everything, but some certain health benefits and some other things that you might need health-wise, you might have to pay for them. And if you're an international student or if you're a student here already, you might already have this plan in your tuition fees. That means the school is already covering you for that because you've paid them as part of your tuition fees. So you want to double check that so you're not doing two different things at the same time. And if you don't have any of this coverage, I would advise that you get like a temporary insurance based on your own preference, based on what you think you need for yourself. So guys, another thing you want to do is to find accommodation. You need to start looking for that immediately you arrive here. I usually tell people, if you've watched my previous videos, to kind of start searching from wherever you're at. If you're in Nigeria, if you're in another country, start checking on Facebook Marketplace. If you have friends in the province that you're going to, talk to them to help you check and move around to look for temporary accommodation for you. There's a lot of shortlets. There's a lot of Airbnb that you can rent for the time being, because once you're here, you don't want to start hopping from one hotel to another. Hotels are pretty expensive. Again, if you have the money, for sure, but I definitely advise you save your money for other things that's going to come along the line. So if you want to find an accommodation, some places you can try to look for is Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Airbnb.com. I also advise that you get an Airbnb before you move here, especially if you've not found an accommodation. Airbnb that is very close to your school or close to your friend or anybody that you know around the city, because the farther you are, the harder it is to kind of like connect and help you out, especially because everyone has what they're doing with their day, right? So make sure that you're starting to find your accommodation before you leave your country. This would save you a lot of payments on hotels or being stranded, and it will just help you. Once you get here, you're just going to the address to settle in. Another thing about finding accommodation before you get here is to beware of scams. So I know that some people would request that you have to pay or whatnot. Yes, it's mostly legit, but you want to try and make sure that you connect with somebody that can help you confirm, and just check through this website or whoever it is you're speaking with to make sure that you're not getting scammed. Yeah. Next thing you want to do once you arrive in Canada that nobody talks about. Honestly, I didn't know myself because I had friends here to help me, and I only have this idea because now I'm settled in this country and I've seen other immigrants go through this, is for you to visit an immigrant serving organization. Guys, there's so many of these organizations that are funded by the government solely to help you as an immigrant settle properly in Canada. So you want to make sure you're connecting with this organization because it will so much make your life so easier, guys. They help with job applications, the accommodation, they help you with even your resume. They can help you change it to Canadian style, and they offer English classes for those that may not even be good with English. So there's so many benefits that come from connecting with this organization, and it's absolutely free. You don't have to pay any money because, like I said, they are funded by the government, and their sole purpose is to help you as an immigrant settle properly in Canada. So make sure you find out what that looks like for you in the province that you're going going to or you're already at and connect quickly so your life can be easier. So guys, another important thing that I'm going to touch on is to get a government ID. So you need to apply for a government ID or you start your driver's license process. I understand that you have your passport, which is enough for like the most part, but I just think that that's not convenient for daily use, and it would be good for you to just get on the process of applying for your provincial ID for whatever province that you're in, or your driver's license, because the driver's license also takes a while depending on the province that you're in. Some provinces will allow you to use your international license and kind of like convert that to what the driver's license level is in Canada. However, some may require you to take tests like road tests, etc., and this process looks different for different provinces. So make sure you're finding out all of this and getting into the process immediately. Next thing you want to do is to apply for jobs. The job market here is quite different. The way the CV and resume works here, you have to change your CV to Canadian style. Google, check online, use ChatGPT, whatever, to rework your CV and your resume to fit the Canadian style so you can start applying for jobs. And you can apply on popular platforms, Indeed, LinkedIn, etc., wherever you can find jobs. You also want to change the location to whatever province or city you're going to be at when you move here. All of this is just to help you get familiar and know the kind of things that these companies are looking for. So even if you're a student, you're here for work permit, this is very essential for you. And you can also get this service from the Immigrant Serving organization that I mentioned earlier. They help with jobs and employment status and all that jazz. So you also have the benefit of going there, letting them explain what the resume style should be like. Yeah, I do advise that you start checking this even before you move here so you can just, reduce the amount of work that you need to do coming here, right? So guys, I hope you've been taking notes. So the second to the last thing that I would be mentioning here for you to do is to what? Honestly, I know it may sound very, very difficult, but try and make connections. You're not an island. I know some of us find it very hard to connect with people. Start building a community. Before you even get here, you can check platforms. There's social platforms where you can connect with people from your country or even mix with other people, because it's so important that you have connections, because you'll just be alone here if you do not have that. We all need somebody at some point, especially when you're new in a country. I do believe that having connections, since I'm speaking for myself, it did help me settle in here fine. So some apps that you can use if you're already here, I know there's the Bumble app where you can connect with people and make friends. There's also Instagram where you can find pages. I know of a page for Nigerians. It's called Nigerians in Vancouver. You can also connect with people on there, like send the page a message. If you want to get a WhatsApp group chat, school group chat, even some schools, they have Telegram pages for who commit to their school. So you can get on all these different platforms just so you're connecting with people and you're just building that community and you're not alone. You can ask so many questions, get knowledge, whatever the case is. Yeah, that's another thing that I think you should do once you arrive here. And to the last part of everything, which is just, by the way, leave. I'm not saying forget where you're coming from. I'm not saying forget home, but you need to start getting familiar and start embracing your new country, which is Canada. Start learning about the lifestyle, tips and tricks. Here, there's tipping culture. Here, a lot of people smile. People are welcoming. Just start learning all of the Canadian tricks and getting familiar with all these things. So it's not weird to you and you're catching up real quick. And there's the weather. The weather here is super different. So you also need to prepare yourself for that and just embrace it. Just be open-minded and you're gonna be fine. So guys, we've come to the end of the video. I hope you've been able to grab one or two things that would help you to settle properly in Canada as an immigrant, as a student, or even if you're holding a PR card. Anyways, if you have any more questions, drop a comment down below and I'll be sure to respond if I have an idea of whatever it is that you're asking me. Yeah, do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share with somebody that may need this. Okay, see you next time. Bye.